Well, hello there, motherfuckers. And I wanted to do a little rant here about All In. And I'm not going to get too excited or too worked up because, at the end of the day, does All In really matter? Okay, so it's the first wrestling event in history to sell 10,000 tickets. That's not a WWE event. And I guess that's pretty impressive. But, if you're thinking that this is going to be like a big revolution or something like that, if you think that this is going to end up being some huge, massive thing that like everyone is, going to be super excited about in unison, just all wrestling fans just bound together, and we're going to have like, hundreds of these events in the future, it's not going to be. First of all, it was a bunch of promotions working together. Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks did some grassroots promotion and stuff like that. And well, they used the internet pretty much. They buried a lot of people. They were burying WWE wrestlers, verbally. They banned Vince Russo from appearing. Like anybody would actually want to go to that show with any common sense. I mean, the only thing that was appealing about it is that you had, like Diamond Dallas Page was with Cody Rhodes as he won the belt. I saw a little bit of this. And what belt did Cody Rhodes win? He won the NWA World Championship. And all on Instagram, I'm looking at all these different wrestling pages and everything. And there's a lot of good nostalgic wrestling pages, but there's a lot of smarky ones as well. A great wrestling page that if you guys are like into Instagram, you like checking out like, classic wrestling clips and stuff. Pipe Bomb News is probably my favorite on there, so go check them out. There's a little plug for them. Other pages were like really excited about All In, and they talked about how Cody Rhodes won the NWA Championship, the same belt that his father won, and everyone's like, getting all worked up. There's a lot of fake tears, a lot of fake excitement. That's not the same belt. I'm saying to myself, does anybody really realize that this NWA that they're talking about is not the same NWA that we had years ago? I mean, decades ago, that Dusty Rhodes won back in the 70s. It's not the same belt. I mean, first of all, you had a lot of weird history with the NWA where, WCW was birthed out of the NWA. Then the NWA kind of, broke away from WCW and kind of did its own thing, and it went awry for a while. Nobody really cared about the NWA after the whole WCW thing. They kind of fell off the map. The NWA started to gain some recognition once we had, TNA come about. Because remember, when TNA first came out, it was actually an affiliate of NWA, and that was actually the NWA title. That same belt that Cody Rhodes is holding, that design, that was actually the in NWA TNA, the first pay-per-view, when Ken Shamrock won in that battle royal. So, people like to have a lapsed memory on purpose, or maybe, some of these smarks are just, a lot younger and they don't realize, that this belt isn't the same one, and they're just hearing, the wrestling historians like Dave Meltzer talking about the belt and everything, and saying that it's like, oh, it's a monumental moment, it's historic that he won this title, and it's the same exact one. Because it ain't the same one. I guess maybe Dave Meltzer wants to say because it's the namesake, it's the NWA title, and just because it's the same name doesn't mean that it's the same thing. It's not the same belt at all. You can't just all of a sudden, say like, oh, this is the same title that Dusty Rhodes won. It's not, like, it's not the same one. You can't just, like, this belt, gets transferred to this promotion, then it gets transferred to this one. It's not the same belt. So all these Instagram pages and all these, videos people making, oh my God, Cody Rhodes won the title, the same title that Dusty Rhodes won years ago, and it's like this biggest, yeah, if it was the same belt, I could see that, but it's not. At the end of the day, it's a fake belt. It's, and first of all, Cody Rhodes has been a real snowflake. He's been an annoying asshole throughout the internet. The way he acted and the way how he went after Vince Russo and everything with this whole all-in bullshit. First of all, who cares about that event? The indies, first of all, WWE is pretty much dead. There's no entertainment to be had from that. So, many people will say, oh, the indies is where it's at. Japan is where it's at. Who the fuck cares? Who are these people? First of all, everybody wants to talk about Kenny Omega, and they wanted me to talk about, first of all, like, I don't care about Kenny Omega. I'm not going to be ignorant and say, that I think he sucks or whatever. I don't know really much about him, whatever. I know he does, this or whatever, Jericho attacked him during the event wearing the Pentagon getup. He's already attacked them, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, he dressed up as Pentagon, and he attacked Kenny Omega, and this is supposed to be like really exciting." And it's like, isn't this the way that they had the first match, the one in New Japan? Isn't it the same exact thing? Just because he dressed up, we're supposed to be like all surprised, like. A wrestler has never dressed up as another wrestler. Doesn't anybody remember when DDP dressed up as La Parka and, he gave the diamond cutter to the Macho Man? Does anybody remember that? There's been so many times where wrestlers have dressed up as other wrestlers. It's a very common thing, and we're making like, oh, this is some new type of technique that they're using for a run-in. I mean, it's been done. It's been done for decades. And you're making like All In is some type of big, huge, like life-altering event. It's not. I was thinking about maybe watching this show or watching a portion of this show. But then I realized that nobody on my channel was even requesting it. And that's kind of surprising. I thought that people would be interested in opinions on that show. I had more people requesting that I watch Lucha Underground and other, types of wrestling shows. I've never gotten a request to watch this All In, and it's been promoted now for like half a year. And not a single person asked on the channel for me to take a look at it. So I was like, if no one's asking for it, I'm not going to do it. I don't want to sit there for however long it is, 3-4 hours, and watch an event I really have no interest in. I look at the card, and, besides Rey Mysterio, who actually was in the main event, which is another thing. Everybody likes to talk about how great, these, New Japan and everything is. Look at the booking on this show. Why was a 6-man lucha tag match, why was that the main event and not Cody Rhodes? If Cody Rhodes and that NWA title, if that was like so important and that was such a huge moment and they really wanted to get over the fact that, in some weird misconstrued alternate universe that is the same belt that Dusty Rhodes, his father, won years ago. Don't you think they'd want to tell that story in the main event? No, actually, the Ring of Honor world title was defended after that belt. The Ring of Honor title. That belt that hasn't meant shit in years. It's the same thing as the NWA title. That belt hasn't meant anything since the 80s. Like I said, once that, they had a chance when it was in TNA to really get that belt back up because they had a major TV show and a major affiliate, and they were finally like in the game, and AJ Styles and Ken Shamrock and You know, all these big names were holding on to the title at that time. You know, they really could have put it over, you know, big. And they could have fooled more people, and you know, into thinking that that NWA title was the same one held by Ric Flair and all the other greats back in the day. You know, but they don't even have the decency to put that match on last. And, you know, Cody Rhodes beat Nick Aldis. You know, how has Nick Aldis not been hired by WWE? I don't understand that at all. You know, I think if it was years ago and, you know, we were still following, like, the archetype of what a wrestler is supposed to look like, you know, maybe McMahon would be interested in Nick Aldis. I mean, he's got to be a little bit interested. I don't know, but, you know, just it's kind of sad, you know, seeing Nick Aldis on the indies when he deserves so much better. You know, this was Magnus and TNA for anybody who was wondering. So, you know, Cody Rhodes with this belt, and now everyone is going to, you know, be making a big deal. Oh, Cody lived his dream and all this. It's like, you know, Cody Rhodes was... I always pulled for the guy. I always knew he was talented, and, you know, that he deserved something in WWE, but I never viewed the guy as a world champion. See, this is the thing with all these smarks, and they've done this for a very, very long time. When somebody leaves WWE or whatever it is, everybody wants to, like, say, oh, they could have been used better. And, you know, not everybody could be world champion. First of all, there's been way too many world champions. You guys have seen what that has done to the integrity of the world titles in WWE. The last thing we need is more world champions, other guys getting chances with the belt. Look, Cody Rhodes is a great, talented guy, and I always said that. You could look back in my old reviews, and I was always putting Cody Rhodes over. I loved the tag team with his brother, him and Goldust. The Stardust thing was not doing it for me. But, you know, that was the thing. Everybody wanted to start caring. Oh, look, they're making him do the Stardust thing, and he's doing the best he can, but they're mistreating him. It's like all of a sudden people wanted to start, you know, caring about Cody Rhodes. And then he left the company, you know, when he started bad-mouthing it. And, you know, it was just, you know, first of all, I'm not saying that when a wrestler leaves WWE, they always have to be, oh, you know, thank you for the memories on Twitter. I always think that's a bunch of phony baloney garbage. You know, if you feel like you were mistreated, then you might as well just write a giant fuck you to the company and just say, hey, you know, you misused me. You know, you're not good. You made me look like a fool on TV. You know, a few of them did that, and that was a good thing. But, you know, Cody Rhodes went way too far. You know, okay, look, if you're in this wrestling business and you don't think that, you know, you're world championship material, you're in the wrong business. Every wrestler should think that they are the best, because that is the mentality that's going to make them go far. If you think you're second best, you think you're third best, you know, you're just not going to last very long. So I give Cody Rhodes all the credit in the world. This is a business of cockiness. This is a business of, you know, being larger than life and trying to promote your brand and to put yourself over. So, you know, I kind of just shake my head every single time I hear people on the internet talking about, you know, oh, this guy, he's way too cocky, he's too big for his britches. If there was ever a business to be too big for your britches, it would be the wrestling business. It's all about performance. It's about being over the top. And so if you're doing that, you're doing your job the right way. But, you know, then you've got drama. And Cody Rhodes is a big drama whore. I mean, we saw it with Vince Russo. The minute he started, you know, saying that Russo was a homophobe, I was like, oh, here we go. This guy's a giant fucking idiot. And, you know, lo and behold, he started doing a bunch of rants and everything. And it was just, oh my God, Cody Rhodes is just ridiculous. So, you know, when I see everybody making a big deal over his fake you know, belt run, it just kind of makes me sick already. You know, there I am. I'm using an old a WWE cliche in the promos. I'm sick and tired of this. You know, I mean, it's just, you know, they're trying to fool everybody into thinking that this belt is the actual NWA title. And Cody Rhodes, after all the promotion and everything, and these guys are so fucking annoying. The Young Bucks and Cody Rhodes. I'm not saying that they're... I already said, these are talented guys. The Young Bucks as well. Super talented. But, my God, they're fucking annoying. These guys have giant chips on their shoulders. And, you know, like I said, and they should. But all in the wrong way. I mean, they think like they are the be-all, end-all, and everybody else's opinion just fucking sucks. Well, I'm here to say that All In was just a fucking, you know, forgettable wrestling event that no one's going to remember. You know, they sold the 10,000 tickets. They said that it's the first non-WWE wrestling event to sell 10,000 tickets, and you know, I gotta say, it's pretty impressive. I guess that, you know, of course they said that statistic, but that's not counting WCW, obviously. I guess, you know, I guess the first non-major, the first indie event in the US, I guess they mean, whatever that statistic may be. But you know, it's a load of garbage. It's a bunch of smarks putting over shit that's really not even that important. It's not there to save the wrestling world. It's not going to really amount to much at the end of the day. And there you go, folks. That's my opinion on All In. Cody Rhodes, he's a fucking idiot. He's a moron. And I don't care about his stupid title win. Like I said, they're faking it. I mean, wrestling is all about faking it, of course, but, you know, when you're trying to say that that's the same belt, I mean, you just kind of, you're making me laugh at you, basically. You're forcing me to just say that you're just being moronic. Anyway, guys, this has been your YWC champ, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Guys, subscribe, click the bell so you get all the notifications when I put out all my other videos. Watch the videos right here. And it's been your YWC champ, and I'm signing out.